all pro, JAFFOs, ball out Pro Bowl, Tony Romo, 40-yard dash, boy, don't be slow-mo. Get on the court, boy, I'm in go. Outside in the sun like Elliot Kobo. I'm running fast, LA de la Cruz. Turn on the JAFFOs, get my news. A7FL doing good, how I knew. All pro, JAFFO, the all pro, jump off sports. They speak facts, you talk smack, you get sacked. Come tune in, sit in chat, sport you like, they speak all that.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All-Pro JAFFOs A7FL Recap Show. I'm your host, JP. Alongside me, the greatest DJ in the entire world. Don't tell him what to fucking play, Mr. DJ Mad Sticks.
What up?
The quarterback, Caleb. My younger brother, CJ's in here. And who was there on the sideline. And we're going to have probably some more guests throughout the show today. But to start it off, the voice of the West Coast side of the A7FL, Mr. Dub Alvarez. What's up, Dub?
Top of the morning, brethren. How are you?
Doing well. Still pretty amped. Looking back at film and everything from Sunday's game, you were on the field. How or what was it like on the field?
Well, to quote my good friend who was a part of the broadcast, the multi-time champion, Mr. Rob Fabian, what am I watching? Or what was I watching? I mean, 2 years in a row, the Insomniacs get down double digits, and you're just looking at the sideline, and there is no sign of panic. There's no yelling. There's no back and forth. It's just, okay, we'll do this, 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 and this. We'll adjust to this, and then at the end of the day, we'll figure it out. But now, I can't take credit for this. All the credit goes to my broadcast. He actually played in the game on Sunday, the Vikings, Scott McCorkle. He said this on episode 93 on the Other Side of the Ball, which, by the way, that episode is on the Other Side of the Ball YouTube channel. He literally said before he, punched up because he was on an assignment doing a job thing out of town, but he literally said BIC was going to tie the game and Daniel Lyons was going to walk it off with a three-run return, and I'll be damned if that didn't happen exactly the way he said it when he made that prediction now 13, 14 days ago on episode 93 of the Other Side of the Ball. Needless to say.
Viking Stradamus is what we should probably start calling it now, because after I saw that, we were doing the live stream watching along, and that was one thing that we had talked about. They're like, what if he runs this back? Like, like, I'm gonna lose my shit if he takes this back right now. And lo and behold,
Rob said the same thing because he was like, Daniel Lyons is very capable of taking this back, so ain't nothing set in stone. And then, lo and behold, once Baby Joker and his teammate, combine and bump each other. And the funny thing about it is, I talked to Donnie after the game, and he was like, "Bro, I had nothing left on that return. Like, I was starting to cramp up, and you kind of can see it on his face, like he's kind of gritting his teeth. He almost pulled an RTC because we know RTC last year had a cramp on his eventual game-winning touchdown run, and you can just see Donnie's facial expression is, let me get there, and of course." He somersaulted in the end zone. But I mean, this is why we call the 3-on-1 the most exciting play in sports, because you never know what can happen. But here's something I found out as the game went along, and many people are trying to ask, well, why do the Insomniacs mainly run? To find out that Scott Scooter Hamilton, somewhere in the game, broke his hand. And that's why, in a sense, he became quarterback / blocker, and that's why the Insomniacs, in a sense, went to a form of a wildcat, which I didn't know that until, of course, obviously, the game was over, and I was like, what? Wow. So that's why it was Juice throwing the touchdown pass on the halfback option, per se, to a wide open, how you leave him open, David Clark. But, of course, I mean, for me, the one thing I take away is the infamous photo that the great Steve Ashmore took when one Eric Shuford Jr., better known as my name from now is Clutch Munch, because that's just what he is. He's clutch. But I mean that photo that Steve Ashmore took with chick lying on the ground as Munchie saying, "Look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm staring deep into your soul." Great photo by Steve Ashmore of Ashmore Media. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a solid. Go check out that photo.
Oh, it's there, especially wanting to hit him with the arrow and stuff afterwards while he was on the ground. That was pretty entertaining, if I do say so. I mean, the whole game back and forth. I mean, it's pretty funny how it all kind of lines up. I'm thinking about it right now, going, this is the second year in a row that the game-winning touchdown was on a cramp. This is the second year in a row that we have one of our members of the JAFFO Army first time watching the game. Last year it was Mad Six's first time watching an A7FL game at the championship. This year it was Caleb's first time watching a game, for the A7FL championship. There was a lot of eerie, the comeback, everything like a third Boonak blessing, I guess you want to call it, if you're but I had actually talked to Will Franklin last night. He wanted to get a little bit of I guess not criticism, but like a viewpoint of what we thought about like how the refs did. Now I can't speak for everybody else, but for myself, I felt like it was refed pretty clean. At the end of the game, whistles were being, swallowed essentially. They were letting the guys play. They were letting everything, just kind of play out. There were a couple of spots where all of us kind of looked at it like, what was that? And I mean, I think Will Franklin's going to be on here in a little bit as well. He said he was going to be on to talk a little bit about it. So I can, let him say what it was that kind of ended up happening. But there was a situation where the BIC got an interception in the end zone, and they were going to try and make a return out of it, but the back judge, blew it dead, and it was a touchback. I do have confirmation that was not supposed to happen.
No,
essentially, it was
Munchie did not. There were two BFC guys touching each other in the end zone. So in a sense, it should have been a return BFC, but at the same time, the controversial play where they thought Munchie was out of bounds, which he clearly was not.
Well, the McDonald's Wi-Fi follows Dub everywhere.
There were a lot of inadvertent whistles. I feel like that would be like the one thing. I don't think I've ever seen a game where there was 4 inadvertent whistles that probably shouldn't have been called. There was a lot of plays on there that were like, just let it play out, and but again, when you have 3 to 4 inadvertent whistles in a single game, I got some questions for Mr. Will over there. Like,
it wasn't Will. It wasn't Mr. Franklin.
No, I understand.
But trust me, he was just as frustrated about it.
Okay.
He was. I mean, Mr. Franklin takes his job very seriously.
Yeah.
As we talk to him about.
The only reason why, and I know it strikes a certain chord with you as well, Josh, is because of the fact Andrew Hill versus Silver Creek.
Had to bring that up, huh? You had to bring up that inadvertent whistle to fucking piss me off.
But those are the things, bro. Those are the things with inadvertent whistles, man. Like, you can literally change the outcome of a game because you got, whistle happy, and you didn't fully understand what was going on with the play. So I mean, like, when you have those kind of situations, that could have easily gone either way, especially with the fumble at the beginning of the game, or the second one at the beginning of the game where homies got it or whatever. But like, I feel like there were way too many times where they should have let him play it out and then gone back and reviewed it. Because especially since they had review. When you
have review, like that, but they have very, very limited angles.
Okay. It seemed like they had like a lot of good angles from where the inadvertent whistles happened. It seemed like they had a good angle on what actually happened before that, but because they would blow the game dead, you had points that were left. There were at least twice where they scored touchdowns, but because of the inadvertent whistle, that's 14 points right off the board.
I'm pretty sure. I think Munchie's touchdown or would have been touchdown had they said that he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of them where, you probably could have reviewed, but the reviews that you would have gotten, at least from the angles, wouldn't have been great. It would have probably gone down as inconclusive.
But at least you take the time to review it, and the play actually finishes itself. You know what I mean? You deal with the outcome after or whatever, but at least the play is played through. It's not blown dead early.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like that's something that they can definitely work on for next season, is making sure that they understand that, it's especially if you're going to have review, you've got to let the play go.
Yeah, sometimes it's a better idea.
even if you can't 100% count on the angle, if you're going to have review, you've got to let the play go.
It's true. Was there anything, Dub, sideline, or Matt Six, did you have something that I know you unmuted yourself for a second, but then I heard your TV and I had to mute it.
Oh, yeah. Do we think, like, with those two, like with Munchie sideline and then the one in the end zone, do you think that changes the outcome of the game? Those two whistles?
Those two both happened in Insomniac's favor, correct?
No, the Munchie's touchdown was for BIC. BIC's interception was in favor of Insomniacs.
Or does it still keeps it?
The only reason why it's hard to say is because momentum, Big Mo.
Yeah,
we all know Big Mo is a huge part of this game. So,
Munchie's touchdown could have set momentum going one way. That interception return could have set momentum another.
Exactly. The pick in the end zone, that he could have ran back and they could have had, way better field position than taking a touchback there. Yep. That's you're all hyped up because, you just got this interception and now you're like, oh, fuck, now we have to go all the way back. Like, I just ran this shit back. Like, so, I mean, that's a big part of it. So, those kind of plays, unfortunately, are momentum killers, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it besides what we're doing right now.
Yeah, we're talking about it after the fact. The one thing that I felt was the biggest, I guess, turn of the whole thing, and I had said it to Chris when we were doing the stream, that the BIC in championship situations or conference championship situations, as good as they are, have been horrendous in the championship points category, in the extra point category. They have been absolutely dog shit awful. Y'all can get mad at it as you want to, fucking fix it so I don't have to say it anymore.
To have such a powerhouse offense and then you can't score from inside the 5, like that's
a little wild.
That's a fucking
it's definitely an issue, and it's so much of an issue that each time that has happened to the BIC, whether conference or as we saw in the championship points made the exact difference.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 extra point opportunities that the BIC missed on that could have put them ahead 32-31, or at least tied at 31-31. But because you couldn't execute the championship points.
And here's the thing about the quarterbacks can run on championship points or no?
Yeah. Quarterbacks can run whatever the fuck they want.
I don't understand why that man Codrington just doesn't do what God let him do. And you know what I mean? How does that not register? And I understand, like we talked about it even on the show, like, because people were even talking about Codrington, he's not really a quarterback. He's just, if he's not throwing to Hollywood, then he's running, but like when you have that kind of talent and that kind of speed and that kind of athleticism, you have to take every advantage that you can freaking get.
And if that means you're running on every play, then hey.
Then fucking run every goddamn play. Like, I want to see next year that the BIC actually puts together a decent run game, because they could be freaking nasty. But everybody knows, as long as we contain Codrington, like, their offense is dead. And that was very apparent. Anytime that they got Codrington contained, the BIC couldn't do anything.
No. On top of that, I got to hand it to them. The Insomniacs did a hell of a job at making Ashanti Hollywood-Worthy disappear.
Yeah,
One catch.
He was
crazy.
And that was
non-factor.
And that was on a broken play. One catch on a broken play.
Yeah.
Which again, you have to give credit.
And I said this. Look, you have Ashanti Worthy, who is, in a lot of people's minds, arguably the best current player right now.
I don't understand how he's not taking that fucking.
I said the same. I had said the same thing.
Back.
I love Pac Money. I really do. But there is no fucking reason why on that last 3-on-1 that Worthy shouldn't have been the one to have the ball.
And on top of that, they got the free run out, dude.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly. They didn't even have the throw off went out of bounds. It was free.
Oh. Twice they did that, bro. Twice. And they couldn't take advantage of it.
I mean, Pac Money took one back earlier in the game.
Yeah, but like at that point, like, you swallow your damn pride and get the best man out there.
I agree with that, but also at the same time, credit on the ultimate chess match by the Insomniacs, because once they took Cody Johnson out and put in Denzel Daniels on the coverage, along with Matt Cannon, number 30, and whoever the throw is, Zelly and Cannon pretty much made the 3-on-1 not so much of a big factor for the BIC after the Pac Money touchdown.
That you're talking about number 8, I think, or 6?
No, Zelly was number 9.
Number 9
Yeah.
with the face mask.
That dude is a monster.
He told me the week of the game. He said, "Unc, I'm running into somebody's chest." Now he could have gotten more yards on his run return that he had, but he wanted to make a statement and literally ran into somebody's chest on the BIC sideline. But his big tackle on the last 3-on-1 return before Munchie sealed the game with his interception, where he high pointed the ball. It's just he was determined, and here's the thing about the Insomniacs: they don't care who gets the shine. It's just okay, whoever gets it gets it. And there's nothing like, even though on the stat sheet didn't show up, but if Daniel Packard doesn't adjust on the one drive, we actually had a for sure wide open touchdown, which ended up turning into a sack, I believe. But because Packer read the play and went to go play center field, that kept BIC out the end zone. That's another big play that happened. But I think for me, the game turned. I know it was a Shuford for sure. I don't know if it was D-Rock or it was Munchie. But the sack on 4th down to deny the BIC points.
That's tough.
I think that sack changed everything. But this is what the Insomniacs do.
And honestly, I think
they will stick to their game plan, and they will wear you down.
AJ McQuaid, that hit he put on Codrington.
Oh, from behind?
He wasn't walking right for the rest of the game. I ain't gonna lie to you.
AJ is a quiet, humble individual, but by God, when he's on the field,
that boy's got a motor.
He's got a motor. The Vikings got a motor.
Yeah.
I mean, they all have motors, but it's just But people don't understand, a lot of these guys on these teams, they're coaches. Munchie is a coach. Scooter's a coach. Chris McWilliam, he's a coach. Not to mention you got Dyson over there. You got, Jason Morrow there, along with they're all coaches. Of course, Kenny Mack, what he does with his son's team, coaching linemen. They're all coaches. So it's like I said, on that Sunday when they're down double digits, they don't get flustered. They don't. It's just like, okay, well, let's try this, let's try that. Like I was having a talk with Michael Shell Rodriguez, the defensive captain, and he was like if a player will come up to me and say, Shadow, let's try this, Shadow will give him the opportunity to try because, okay, maybe we didn't think about that per se. And a lot of times it works out for them.
Definitely.
I'm almost to the point where now I'm just saying, you know what? I'm not going to bet against them ever again. But they will tell you they felt like they should have won by at least 18 points because they feel like they left some points on the board because
yeah. I mean, and to be fair, the BIC left points on the board too. It was a struggle. Yeah, that first half, was definitely kind of a feeling out process. But I had even said it. I don't think the BIC was prepared for what happened. I literally think because you can literally trace this from the end of last year's championship game to now. Even though the Insomniacs won it last year, the big thing was, well, you beat a Florida team that only had 9 players there, and you still almost lost. So if you're coming back against a full front, U or BIC team, it's a different story. And that was the narrative going all the way down. Some people were calling it a fluke championship. Some people were saying it was an easy ride for the Insomniacs. The East Coast, and let me say this clearly to each and every one of y'all who are probably watching either now or later. The East Coast, everybody in New Jersey, listen up. I talked to Big Rob about this a long ass time ago, and I had said it, and goddamn it, it happened. Don't get too fucking comfortable when these new leagues and new divisions and stuff like that are coming out because they're coming for you and they're gonna unthrone what you had. I understand that the BIC, I understand the East Coast are the pillars and the creators of the league. But
hey, you think that's why they haven't come down to Texas yet?
I don't know. I don't know why they haven't gone down to Texas.
I know
yet.
West Coast got their thing going, but these Texas boys.
But see, here's the thing. I guarantee you the Insomniacs will be all game to come down to Texas and play a Texas A7FL
yeah, they would
team.
Absolutely.
And not to mention the stadiums that y'all have in Texas, having a championship game there in those beautiful stadiums.
Can you imagine having a championship game in Allen's?
Oh God, bro! It doesn't even have to be Allen's. Allen's is like nowadays. Allen is like mid when it comes to a football stadium in Texas. Allen's like mid,
but still, we know how much. But we know how much people love football in the state of Texas.
Absolutely.
Don't tell me the local fans will not come there and watch that game.
They absolutely would, and that's why I was asking Will.
And would be enticed by having a championship game deep in the heart of Texas with some football crazy fans learning more about this league that is the A7. Yeah. Tell me that wouldn't make the league money.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
And that's what I was asking Will. I'm like, why aren't we down here yet? All he can say, we're working on it. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, we've been working on it for what, 3 years now? 3?
Well, all I know is me and JP have been advocating for a Northern California division.
Big Rob, when I mentioned Texas, Big Rob got like, I don't know if we should go to Texas. That's not because it wouldn't be like a good market, because he knows as well.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like there's
ain't gonna be no other champion ever.
When other divisions, and especially in places that have high caliber talent athletes, when they start to get it, hey, I'm sorry, I've never heard New Jersey having the top tier athletes, not even top 5 in the country. Sorry, I haven't. Y'all can maybe change that. I don't know. But I haven't seen New Jersey in the top 5 of anything when it comes to caliber athletes that come out. You're always seeing Nevada. You're always seeing California. You're definitely seeing Florida. You're always seeing Texas.
Don't forget about Georgia. They have some dogs. They got some dogs too.
In Georgia too. There's a whole place. But I'm just saying now, the East Coast can't say shit anymore. All that shit talking, all that, jibber jabber and all that, oh, no, it was a fluke, it ain't really. Guess what, motherfuckers? They came into your backyard and snatched the crown. Now Munchie said, "No, we snatched that last year." No. I get it. You got the championship last year, but this year it meant something different because you went into New Jersey's backyard after all the shit talking that they've done. You've played a full squad BIC team, and you beat them.
Coming
You
back
held
down.
Ashante Worthy to one fucking catch. You contained Sterry as best as you could. Courage was nowhere to be found as well.
And that's a question. I don't know why they did not give Courage the ball enough in the run game. I don't
That's what I was
understand it.
trying to figure out. I'm like, why ain't they? I'm like, it's 7-on-7, right?
Yep.
It's 7-on-7,
Why are
yes.
we? And you can run the ball. I'm
But yet-
saying, well, how are we not getting at least 20 to 30 touches on the ground
But yet,
a game?
but yet the Insomniacs with RTC
Mm-hmm.
and with the youngin Juice Washington, they were okay taking the old cliche 4 yards and a cloud of dust.
Absolutely.
And if you notice, as the game got along, and it happened to the night callers last year, you started to see hands on the hips on the BIC. BIC has, I mean, okay, having a physical game with the U is one thing. They've been doing that for 10 years. But when you play a different kind of physicality, and then it also helps when you got a big boy like Kenny Mack and you got Big West the Oos, that beef alone is hard to try and block for 60 fucking minutes of a football game. And oddly enough, you earlier talked about championship points. The one conversion that Vegas got by Haywood was the exact difference in the game. One single point.
That's why the championship points are extremely important in this game. And and like I said, I think BIC took it lightly. I think there was a lot of chatter. You had Trey Robinson behind that too. Part of that chatter and everything else like that. They came in with the death row jerseys. They came in, all high and mighty confident that it was over. They didn't stand a chance. Some people on the West Coast were calling double-digit blowout, like by 20. Somebody said 60-35. Probably somebody who shouldn't be covering the league said 60-35 because that's just stupid. And you know who you are.
Okay.
But
I got a rebuttal after you finish your point. I got a rebuttal.
But it's like for the BIC to come in and take it lightly, and some of them are going to come in. Oh, we didn't take it lightly. We didn't take. You did. I think you did. I think a lot of that talk that you were doing before the game got to your heads, and the Insomniacs came in and just shut it down. Because all of your best players, besides Sterry, because Sterry was really the only one kind of doing everything for the BIC, everyone else was shut down. Nobody else was a factor in that game. It was either a 3-on-1 score by Pac Money or Sterry going all the way down and doing it himself. Oh, here we go. This is what I want to hear. I want to hear the representation of the East Coast right here. This is what I want to hear. Big Rob, ladies and gentlemen, multi-time champion, A7FL Hall of Famer, part of the all-decade team, one of the best, Mr. Big Rob Fabian. How you feeling, Big Rob?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. Kid you not, funny story. So me and Rob are on the field on Sunday, and he's just like, "Dub, you are trying so hard not to crack a smile." I said, "Bro, I'm just soaking all this in because I'm like you. What did we just watch? What am I watching?"
Right.
But I mean, it's just insane. But for people that say it was going to be a block, here's the thing. Since this version of the Insomniacs has been accepted by Coach James McGowan, here's what people don't understand. In the last 2 seasons, and we're just counting national because we all know fall doesn't count, just counting the national season alone, their last 2 seasons, they have gone 21-1. 21 wins, 1 loss. And oh, by the way, that 1 loss was only by a damn 6-point score. So how is someone going to sit there and tell me that the Insomniacs are going to get blown out when the only loss
Who told you? Who said that?
6 point. I don't know. I
know who said it was going to be a blowout. I don't want to get. I've already given him enough clout without saying his fucking name. I don't really want to give it any more attention
Listen,
than it
I'm
already
not.
has.
I'm not
I'm
gonna
just
lie.
saying that it was said.
I'm not gonna lie. Whoever said it, never talk to them about football again. Listen, bro. Listen, bro. I'm super Jersey. I love the Insomniacs. Super Jersey. I knew the BIC can't blow the Insomniacs out. The most it would have been is by 2 scores, and that's not a blowout. Now, when I say 2 scores, I mean 6 points and another 6 points, so 12 total points that anybody could come back from. What we saw. So it's like to watch film and be an analyst and talk about this league and say either way it would have been a blowout is clinically insane. Clinically, like I mean that wholeheartedly. Those teams were. Listen, he needs one for real. Those teams were, and Double A, bro. If I'm lying, I'm dying. You could tell the guys yourself. Night before the chip, I get on other side of the ball, and of course, I'm popping shit. I'm talking shit. All jokes. But then I get serious, and I'm like, well, honestly, I'm hoping BIC wins, but what it's going to come down to is championship points and special teams. Because these teams, honestly, in my opinion, these teams are way more evenly matched than people think. That offensive line is a monster for the Insomniacs. Yeah. So what if Scoot can't run? Scoot was getting tackled and still throwing the ball for positive yards. You can't make this shit up. And let's just talk. I think, Josh, you have me here to get my opinion on the game. I'll just cut right to it. Neither quarterback had a good day. Both of those quarterbacks played like utter shit. But the thing is, the difference is Scooter trusted in his teammates more than Sterry did. Sterry believed it was him and Ashanti, and it was his arm that was going to get it done. If Sterry put the game on his back and used his legs more, we're not going to have this conversation. The game is different. And that's all across the board. Anybody could agree with that. But Sterry decided to use his arm.
I said that like 5 minutes ago.
Hey, and you see?
Especially on those championship points. I'm like, how you not sitting there like, I'm like,
you sent Trey Robinson? I'm like, you sent Trey Robinson? Yeah. You went 0 for 5 in championship points? But again, that's neither here nor there. Then you talk to Scooter, and Scooter tells me that they had one practice. And the one practice was for extra points, for championship points. And they had one championship point that gave them the 1 point they needed to beat BIC. It's I know people try to overcomplicate the game and try to shit happens, but bro, it's the team that's better prepared that's going to win. And the fact that those guys had one practice to help them get that 1 point that got them over the hump, congrats to the Insomniacs.
It sounds a lot like the this past Super Bowl. Like how you not prepare for overtime. You know what I mean?
What's up? That's part of the game.
You just had to open up that wound, CJ. You just had to open up that wound.
He's opening a whole... Bro, he opened up a fucking high school wound for me earlier. Like, goddamn. Like...
I'm still not over that loss, CJ. Damn you, Kyle Shanahan. Damn you.
I was trying to figure that out. When they came out, they were like, oh, yeah, we ain't run no overtime plays or no overtime system. I was like, how the fuck?
What's going on?
Have a job.
Bro, it's insane. And the thing is, the Insomniacs winning this game does something for me personally for the 2023 chip. The 2023 chip, I could have easily said it was a fluke. I said, oh, man, they barely won. I'm sorry. After going back to back, there's no fluke about it. This is just the DNA of the Insomniacs. I'm sorry. I've called them a second half team for months. And people are like, what do you mean? No, they're 1,000%. Yeah, they're 1,000% a second half team. They know that. We know that. They know that. They're able to make the necessary adjustments to deal with with any team. And now another thing is, listen, I don't think BIC prepared the way the Insomniacs prepared.
Nope.
And that's just me
I
being.
wholeheartedly, and Rob, you talk to more people on the East Coast. I really do think the BIC thought it was going to be a walk in the park.
And here the
I don't think they
problem.
took him seriously enough.
The problem for me in that statement is Kenny Stansbury's my brother. I know he wasn't taking the game lightly, but I don't think the same could be said about his team. I know Kenny prepared. I don't think the team prepared. And case in point, when Insomniacs go into a wildcat offense and everybody's looking like wildcat, that wasn't good. I mean, A7 did it, but A7 did it before A7. Like, it was popular before A7, but why would they do it here? Well, BIC's biggest weakness, their defense's biggest weakness, is the run game. Their run defense is not that good. So what do you do when you have a bunch of all-pro offensive linemen that outweigh a D-line by that much? You pound the rock. Scooter realized he couldn't get it to his number one receiver and turned into a blocker.
Yeah.
These are the sacrifices that had to be made to win this game. Now, after watching that game, you can't call neither team trash. Insomniacs can't say they put belt to ass. They could just say they won. They won the game. They are two-time champs. But there was nothing easy about that win.
No.
It was amazing. It was dramatic. And in my opinion, Insomniacs and BIC are on the same level. Same level. There's no difference.
I think also going back to what Dub was saying earlier was, you know, a lot of the guys that are on the Insomniacs, they're all coaches.
Right.
You know, and
right.
and just going back to
like
that is the best part about that is these guys know exactly what to prepare for. They know how to prepare for it. They
prepare.
You know, and nobody gets too high, nobody gets too low. A lot of the time, and Dub was pointing that out earlier, you know, and you can see it even on film, is you had one sideline that would miss, you know, a long ball, whatever, and you they're fucking arguing on the goddamn field. What is that?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you get a miscommunication on Insomniacs, and it's just like, get back here, we'll talk.
We'll talk about it. They
like,
never complained. They never argued. I saw
Ashanti and Theory arguing with each other.
There was so much of that from the BIC side, and I was like, what is going on, man?
At that stage, you can't afford that. You got to stay poised in the championship. Like I've been to a few.
So early in the game that they were doing that. They were doing that in the first quarter, and I was like, "What the really? Like, we not even. It's still 0-0. We arguing about routes. Like, just get back to the huddle and talk about it."
Just
Rob, one of the first things when you came on this show, the first time, I had told you, and I had asked you if the East Coast doesn't continue to take it seriously with the expansion with all these divisions, somebody's going to come up and snatch the crown.
Snatched. Consider it snatched.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any or not.
Consider it snatched. At this point, the league belongs to Vegas. There's no discussion. There's no, the 3-on-1 thinks this and no. The facts are the facts. I'm not one that's going to play around with facts. I'm a logical guy. What it is what it is. And I'm not going to make excuses for any team. They lost the chip twice. The chip has been in the West Coast now for 2 years. These guys came to New Jersey, a hostile environment at Asbury, and defended their championship. They are the true blue champions. There's no question. There's no discussion. There's no, what if this and what if bro, I don't got it. I don't got it in me to allow the debate, bro. BIC lost. That's it. Yeah. The Insomniacs won. That's it. Oh, it's only by 1 point. I don't care if it was by half a point. Yeah. That 1 point, they practiced for that shit. They earned the win. And what it also did for me, again, I wanted BIC to win, but what ended up happening is a lot of guys all week when the all-decade thing was coming out, who the hell is RTC? Well, how the hell they put Kenny Mack on the list for all decade? Who the f is Donye Lyons? I bet everyone knows now.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Those are two-time.
They know now.
Oh, they know now. And those are two-time A7FL champions. I hope you don't think we were giving them an attaboy and putting them on a list because we like them. No, they earned that spot.
Yep.
Donye Lyons earned a spot on an all-decade team as a kick returner and walked one off for a touchdown, bro, in a championship game. And he locked Ashante Worthy up, strapped. See, like, I've never seen that before.
One catch for Ashante Worthy.
And again, a wide receiver. He's not a defensive back. He's a wide receiver.
Hey, he might need to go check that because I think he's a defensive back. The way he put the straps on that young man, and again, we could get into the details. I don't know why Sterry was so off. I couldn't tell you. I don't know why Scooter was so off. I couldn't tell you because Sterry wasn't even. We can watch the game, fellas. No, and this is no disrespect to the Insomniacs D-line because they ended up showing up in the second half. But in that first half, the Insomniacs D-line wasn't doing too much to bother Sterry to the point of those terrible throws. He was just.
I was gonna say it might have came after that AJ hit.
Nah. No, that was later.
When was that?
I think that was second. Half. That was first half, but later in the first half.
Yeah,
we're talking that first possession. He overthrows Kason Campbell and Ashante Worthy with no one around them. Like, no one was there. He didn't get hit after the play. He was getting hit after the play, but not so much that you miss those kind of throws.
Yeah.
He had time in the pocket, and none of those hits stop you from using your legs. None of them.
Rob, let me ask you this. Where for you, because you was up there in the booth, I was on the silent, but where for you did the game change?
This is a point of contention for everybody. I feel like everyone has different spots. Some people say there was a couple calls from the ref that changed the game. I agree with that to a degree, but you can't leave it in the ref's hands, so I don't. Oh, well. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens.
No.
But in my opinion, the very specific play that kept the Insomniacs alive was BIC not having the ball the entire second quarter. Pack drops, he fumbles the return and gives it back to the Insomniacs. The Insomniacs then go the entire second quarter with the ball. And because of that, I feel like it gave BIC's offense too much time on the sideline, made them too anxious. The anxiety, the pressure, everything was building. It's like, oh crap! Like, and again, I'm only saying that because I've been there, where we like when the matter of fact, it happened in 2021 when I was on the U. I watched BIC kick a return back and keep our offense off the field. The defense had to go back out, and I'm sitting here like, oh shoot! Like, we have to stay warm. In a championship game, it's not about resting guys. It's about keeping the hot man on and switching when it's time to switch. But it's active switching. Dudes got to be ready to go and firing on all cylinders. BIC's offense rested for an entire quarter and kept going 3 and 4 and out of simple things.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and again, it's much credit because the second half I do feel like I feel like the Insomniacs defensive line, the Insomniacs defense in general brung the smoke. If you listen to the broadcast, you even hear me say, oh man, it looks like the Insomniacs are giving up a little bit. We need, and I asked Corey, who's the guy? He was like, oh, it's AJ McQuaid. I said, well, AJ needs to make a play on this drive to wake his teammates up because right now it looks like they're laying down. The very next play, AJ runs and gets a tackle in the backfield. And I'm like, yo, that was the play. It wakes them up. Now they're hitting again. Now they're locking up again. And I'm like, okay, these guys are not gone. They're here still. They were losing, but they're here still. I'm like, okay, good. Really good. So now what? BIC has an opportunity to put them away several times, bro. You're up 2 scores. there's like the criticism from the Nightcrawlers were criticized disgustingly for doing the same thing we just saw on Sunday. The Nightcrawlers were dancing early, happy, but you didn't put the monsters away. You kind of backed them into a corner and turned your head and said they're not coming back. No, they came back.
I was gonna say a lot of the waving.
Yeah,
that shit. I was like, bro, like it's not over. Like especially on the top. I was like, especially when they scored that last touchdown and everybody's waving and all that stuff and all that. Like, bro, you have an untimed down right now.
And
like,
that's
man. There. I'm like, what? And then sure enough, homie takes it back and it's like, shit.
It's like, and then everybody's like,
at the end of that though,
bro, I ran out the booth. They go, oh well, those guys were doing it all day, and nobody. They stopped everyone. So why would we change them now? You got to watch film. Danye Lyons is that guy. I put him on an all-decade list. He's really like that. Don't think a couple of stops. Like, he's really like that, and he showed it. But my thing is, BIC had the personnel to stop that. You think about it. You throw Sterry back there. You make him throw it out the back of the end zone. It's a touchback. Now you're daring Scooter, who's had trouble throwing all day, to throw a bomb in 16 seconds. 17 seconds to David Clark or Munchie. Could he have done it? For sure. Would have been dramatic, would have been amazing. But you put their backs against the wall and you challenge the offense, who's been predominantly running the ball, to throw to get the win. Well, why in the hell are you throwing it at the returner?
Yeah. What I was trying to figure out, even Doug said earlier that Scooter actually broke his hand. That's why they went to all that shit.
It makes sense. So my thing is, even if you don't know that, just straight analysis, straight booth work. None of the quarterbacks were having a good day.
No.
When Danye scored, I felt in my soul it was over. Because I'm like, yo, BIC has not been able to quick score. They haven't put up 40 points like they normally do. This ain't it. They need 40 points to win. They need 40 points. If they don't score 40, they probably won't win. And we haven't seen it all year until Sunday. You give the quarterback, again, it was both of them, that's been having a hard time throwing the ball. You put him in a position to throw the ball to win. If Scooter throws the ball to win, and Davik one hands, stretches out 1 foot in, bro, that's amazing. That's amazing. But you guys gave Danye Lyons the ball on a 3-on-1.
Did you think that BIC
you said did I think BIC what?
Made a mistake that put back money back out there instead of Ashante Worthy?
They should have put Ashante Worthy back there. And it's no slight. It's zero slight to Pack.
No, for sure. Well, he ran one back earlier in the game, so that's completely understood. Yeah. But think about what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
they adjusted to Pack.
Yeah,
exactly.
Put Ashanti, who they don't know anything about. But again, the adjustments weren't made. The extra points weren't gotten. Listen, the Insomniacs beat BIC the same way they beat the Nightcrawlers. Just no Bunak blessing this time.
I think the Bunak blessing was DJ running it back, but
you know what? Crazy enough, I think that's how the game goes, brother. Like it just goes that way. When you have a guy as explosive as Danye Lyons, bro, go listen to the broadcast. I literally said, let me kick a few scenarios for you. Danye Lyons is really one of those guys that can make something amazing happen. And as I'm saying that, I'm like, yo, he can make something amazing happen on this. And the ball is out. It's up there. It's up there. He got it. Uh-oh. Oh, my God, he's scoring. Because that's him, bro. Like, that's who. But if you watch film, you know that. Yep. If you respect the opponent, you know that. If you're doing what it takes to win, you know that. Sterry ran 2 touchdowns in. Why didn't he run 4?
Yeah. That's what I was trying to figure out. I was asking them earlier. I'm like, how God give him that much talent and that much ability, and he not taking advantage?
You know, Corey was happy because it makes it look like the pocket passer is the greatest thing in the world. Bro, I don't believe in the pure pocket passer in A7.
No.
I don't believe in it. It doesn't exist. It's not going to win any championships in this league. You cannot sit in the pocket and dice them up.
Unless the only way that happens is if your run game is absolute.
And guess what? You still need a run game.
Yeah.
Still need a run game.
That's the only way that pocket passing shit actually works in y'all's league is if your run game pop off
is elite. Elite. And again, a guy like Corey, when he was on BIC, he was successful because he had an offensive line that gave him the time he needed to dice dudes up. Because Corey's cerebral when he has the right team.
Yeah.
But it still didn't yield us a championship. Pretty good season, but we didn't get a championship off of that.
Yeah.
The championship we won the first time was with a running quarterback, primarily running quarterback.
Mm.
When I won the championship in 2020 with Huff, 2021 with Huff. Huff is not a one-dimensional Huff. Okay, I'm not going to say because I don't want to stir nothing. I won't say that. But Huff, you got to run, bro. You got to run. I preach run because I'm an offensive lineman. While I'm blocking, if all your receivers are locked up and you see me blocking the hell out of this dude, please find a seam and go. You run a 4-4. Get the hell away from me, bro. Yeah. Go away. Run. Run. I'm working hard. Run, bro. Run.
And with the head referee of the A7FL, Mr. Will Franklin. Will, how are you feeling after that game? I know we had a little conversation yesterday about some things, but at least from the ref work and everything that went down, how were you feeling about it?
There was, from a very critical standpoint, which is the only standpoints that I can have, being here, it's my crew. It left a few things to be desired. I mean, I would give us, B plus A minus.
Yep.
Somewhere right in there.
Yep. That's fair, Will.
Did we make any, there was some,
That's fair.
So some of those calls, some of it's very debatable how impactful some of the mistakes that we made would have been on the game, or were on the game. Some of them were just nothing burgers. But there's a few that had potential to be more than, and I was disappointed. Overall, like I said, I believe the grade is fair. Right now, I'm actually in the middle of watching the game. I'm doing the actual penalty count right now. For every penalty in the game. I'm going to post it later on so that, everyone has it. I don't normally, but I always watch these games over and over. This is the first time watching it. So the first time through, I'm doing the penalties. The second time through, I'll look for, missed calls. I thought we let the players decide the game, man. I really do. I really believe we let the players decide the game. I didn't feel like we took over the game. There's not a penalty that I have written down right now that I absolutely can't, that I can justify every last one of them. I see every one that happened. No phantom calls,
That was actually really nice to see, is that the no phantom calls and stuff. Because I mean, the entire game, y'all were on point when it came to, penalties and stuff. The only thing that we were talking about earlier was the inadvertent whistles. That was the one thing that was like, okay, like, should we let them play it out? And I was telling Josh, and I was like, well, if they have review, like, you got to let them play it out. And he was saying something about the angles of the camera. And I was like, well, even if that's the case, but like, you can definitely let those plays run. And, if you go back and if you don't have the view or whatever, then, but at least, the entire play was ran through.
Right. The opportunity.
I think that was the only criticism about the reffing that anybody could possibly come up with, because outside of that, you guys were right.
And those plays were big. The first one, I watched the first one. The first one was a nothing burger. He shouldn't have blown it just on principle alone. He should have swallowed that whistle. I was first time was like, irritation, because on the interception that I think it was Sayer had, he got up and was tackled immediately. So if we let that play out, he gets an extra yard on that one.
Yeah.
The second one with Chick is the one that had some potential, right? And unfortunately, things like, where on the hook and ladder play, where Munchie stepped out or inadvertent whistles, those aren't reviewable because we can't really. Well, what are we gonna give you like future forward progress of where we thought you were gonna get? You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate that we, that the refs, intervened in those situations. That second one had some potential, though. That second one definitely had some potential. The referee, honestly, he said that, his reason was that the player laid there. Now, if you just lay on the ground after an interception, you're just giving yourself up. I thought he got up pretty immediately.
Yeah, I thought he got up pretty quick.
Yeah,
I thought that sense of urgency was on 1,000 when he
the one in the end zone.
Is that the one?
That one's the one that
one,
it could have been. They could have got way better field position out of that than getting it at the 20.
Yeah, and even on the Munchie one, like you can't even hold that because who has that angle to see if he actually stepped out or not?
Right.
Just that referee.
Yeah.
Just strictly that referee, and thank God, there was the tape that was put down before the game on the sideline over there. He says he stepped on it. I mean, everybody in Vegas, obviously on that sideline, says he was in by 2 inches or more.
Yeah.
I've watched it 40 times. I actually even just got done messaging Munchie about it. I'm like, bro, I've watched it 40 times, and I just cannot tell. I've done everything I can to slow the thing, zoom in, every tool that I've got. I'd have to pull satellites, man.
Yeah.
But again, that's another one of those plays where I feel like there was a nothing burger. Like, what could he have done? You know what I'm saying? Like,
if he was in, he scored. If he was in, he scored.
But
and
also,
it was 13, 12, 11, or was it 13 seconds before halftime? If he doesn't step out by the millimeters that he does, he scores. That's a touchdown.
Even with that, it's kind
that
of
was a broken play too.
I was gonna say it's kind of hard to even say that he would have scored because you never know if the defense gave up.
Right, you're balancing. Yeah, you're balancing on on the sideline. There's some guys back there with speed.
Especially if you hear the whistle on the defense, I mean, you're probably not gonna. Yeah, you might take off or whatever, but you can definitely make the argument that the defense stopped.
Which is why for the Chick one, I was never gonna say Chick would have scored. What I would say is that like you said earlier, he had potential and he would have had better field position. I agree with that 100%. But scored, the defense hears the same whistle you hear. They stop just like you stopped. So I don't know if he would have scored, but I definitely know they would have had better field position.
Yeah.
Honestly. And well, honestly, that's a fair assessment on your part, bro. I think you guys let those guys play. I don't think any of the calls were so dramatic that it changed the outcome of the game.
Yeah.
The phantom whistles suck, but that's why you guys get a B instead of an A. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a B, but a B is doing pretty damn good. I don't think you guys affected the game that crazy. They have 30 seconds to get out the huddle, bro. If they don't get out the huddle in 30 seconds, that's on them. They can hear you counting. Hey, get in and out of the huddle. That's that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing we can do about the delay of games. Nothing we can do about the holding. Like, bro, you guys are holding. And you didn't call every holding call.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You let them boys play. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I don't think the officiating determined the game because at the end of the day, when one team is up by 2 scores and has the opportunity to put the other team away, and for God knows why they don't, or when one team has, oh my goodness, I'm so frustrated. We've seen the Wildcat the whole day. Not one time was it David Clark at the receiver spot. It was always Munchie. But it wasn't David. It just wasn't. As soon as David goes to that wide receiver spot, in my mind, I thought, what's his name? Juice. I thought Juice was gonna get the pitch. Scott was gonna drop back behind him, get the little flea flicker, and there's David Clark for the touchdown. Juice says, no, fuck that. He carries it, draws all these idiots. Bro, listen, bro, and I love my BIC guys. I love them, but that was a bonehead mistake because I know Kenny doesn't tell y'all to leave y'all man. I know he tells you, bro, Juice is boxed in. There is no reason for the corner to come down to help. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. Nothing.
We were laughing watching that live because we were
like, there's no reason why he should have left Abbott.
Bro, do you know how professional I had to be?
I wholeheartedly disagree, man. I'm watching this game, right? And I love the reference from Matt. They're using the Snow Tribe offense. When you look at
Sprinkles.
when they ran that Wildcat, and I'm watching the game fresh right now again. I mean, it is taking everyone committing to the ball to get some of these shoestring tackles. I mean, these guys are.
I
these
agree.
One-on-one blocks are seriously one-on-one matchups that one man is winning or the other man is
and they're
absolutely
losing.
dominating.
And some of them are losing those battles. But you're a corner. You're not the first line of defense. You're most likely the last.
Listen, when you get thrown 9 fastballs and they finally throw you a curveball, you are
discipline,
just not expecting it.
Yeah. When the Patriots won one of their championships, their whole motto, their whole slogan was "Do your job." My job is this 6'5" behemoth. Because at the end of the day, Juice, as fast as he is, he's gonna get 6 to 8 yards. He's not gonna score. Those guys are on angles. They're going to get him. So what if he got the positive yards? We've already proven that the Insomniacs weren't 100% from the red zone. They weren't like every time they got to the red zone, they didn't score. So you can give your team another opportunity by staying disciplined. And the way Juice threw that ball, if a corner stayed, you don't think he picks it off?
Oh,
it wasn't a high.
Yeah,
it wasn't a.
He lollipopped that ball,
bro.
But he sold it.
Yeah,
he sold it. He sold it, and the BIC sold the game. Hey, it is what it is.
We were watching that live.
No, it's rough.
And we're watching
Juice. As soon as Juice got the ball, I was like, oh, he's throwing.
When he took 2 steps, and everything about his body language says, I am not running this fucking football. Like, and we're sitting there calling it. Sure enough,
I was like, oh,
lollipops over the top, and we're like, well.
And nobody, and that's what I was saying. I was like, nobody's covering.
He shot.
You know what?
That was a shot put throw.
I'll tell you probably what they're reading. They're probably reading. The defense is probably reading Scooter, right? Scooter with those lead blocks, man. He was like when his momentum gets out there. Like everything to me when I first seen the pitch, because I watched Scooter first because he's doing the cadence, which we may have to address that rule. Whoever's got the ball needs to be doing the cadence, but he's doing the cadence without the ball. So I'm watching him. And I'm watching his commitment to the rollout. It was after he pitched it. Man, that's that one mental lapse. That's that one mental lapse.
Yeah.
There was so much that kind of went into this guy. I thought physically it was a really entertaining game. I thought you could put this in the upper echelons of best games. I mean, yeah, last year it was high scoring, all of that. But this game, I feel, was the better overall aspect of it. When you're talking about all 3 levels of the game, offense, defense, and special teams.
Ultimate chess match.
Yeah. It was a damn good game to watch. It was fun to watch. It like nail biting. All of us were sitting here going, this shit is crazy. And I can only imagine, especially what the players and stuff like that were going through on the sideline and in the game. But there were a lot of things that you can bring back and go, well, if this happened, if that happened, that happens every game. If certain things happen, then yeah, obviously things take the game in a different direction. But this game was one of those, it was going to be a battle of the mind. Who was in it? Who was still in it mentally? And the Insomniacs kept it the whole way. And the BIC, my opinion wise, at least what we were watching, had already gotten inside their own heads.
I mean, honestly, the BIC, it felt like they were signed off after the third quarter, and they had a 2-point lead or 2 touchdown lead.
Yeah. They thought it was over.
They were like,
from
"Oh
there.
no, this is over," and it was kind of just like you saw one side, really embrace the waves and the buys and go back to the West Coast and all that stuff, and then you have the other side that's sitting there just going, "All right, what's the next play?" And keeping that focus, and that was really cool to see. And I feel like I'm going to keep harping on this, because I don't know much about A7FL or
This
who the
was his
players
first
are and
game.
everything.
Yep.
But when you have an entire team full of coaches, it's like they've all freaking been there, man. Like it's totally fine. Like, you could definitely tell there was a real big difference in demeanor of teams.
Yeah.
They never got too high, never got too low, and they kept in it. They stayed in it. They fought to the last fucking second. Like, and that's the best thing that you can hope for.
And that's what we're saying, that at this point now, it's even playing field all across the board. The East Coast no longer has a stranglehold on the title anymore. That's up for grabs no matter who's playing. Unless you're from Ohio, you have a chance. So it's at a point now where the East Coast really needs to get their shit together. All that shit talking to that, hey, y'all can keep shit talking all you want to. You just look stupid as fuck doing it. Because now they came into your backyard and snatched your shit. They straight deboed y'all in your own backyard. So that means y'all need to get your shit together. That means you got to get back to the drawing board and get back to, all right, you know what? We need to actually start taking these guys more seriously. Because hearing Big Rob going, yeah, the Insomniacs practiced for that one championship point, to
They did.
whereas the
They
BIC wasn't really,
they literally had a walkthrough the
I'm
morning
gonna
of
open
the
up
game,
a
practicing that one play. They literally had a walkthrough. I kid you not. Scotty said we had a practice that day, and when I took the offense, and we were practicing nothing but 2-point plays. And again, the one conversion by "you're too small," Big Haywood, that was the one championship point that got them over the hump. But another thing, like the day we got there, we're in one of the houses. It's Wilkerson, it's Big Kenny Mac, it's AJ, a lot of the main guys, but they're in the Airbnb and they're watching film of the BIC against the U, and they're just dissecting stuff down, preparing for this game. It's like in awe. And I mean, I'm just, here just watching, just, showing support and whatnot and being the red hat on Sunday, but just their attention to detail when they watch them and just like, okay, and they just point things out is very, very astounding. Hence why, like I said, they don't get flustered when they trail. It was like that last year. They were down 12 the night clock. Of course, we know the Bunak blessing, as Big Rob likes to say, happened, but because of Shadow calling something out and then Quincy versus IQ changed everything. And again, it's just their football IQ, their demeanor. I mean, yeah, sidelines are gonna bicker to referees about calls. They do that in every game. It happens. But however, it's a 60-minute game, and you literally have to play all 60 minutes to beat the Insomniacs. And you saw how the BIC was celebrating after Sterry scored to put them up by 125 or put them up by 6, 30-24. But it was just, the assignments were thinking, okay, who are we going to put on the tournament? Who are we going to put out there for the 3-on-1? And they all decided Danye. And then, of course, we also what happened there. Danye beats Danye, and there you have it. But it's just, I mean, me and we were talking about, I said, it's chippy as we thought it would be because you heard the chippiness, you saw the chippiness. So it was to be expected. Yeah. But it's just, I don't think the BIC saw this type of physicality.
And shout out to the ref crew for holding that shit down, because there were a few times where it was like, okay, we're getting a little too chippy, and y'all were like nah, we ain't playing that shit. Get your ass back in the huddle. That was really nice.
Yeah, we're not playing that shit. Hey, yeah, Dub can attest to this, man. Listen, that Insomniac sideline, man, like in the in the chess of the game, that's a very mature sideline. But those guys were screaming for holds every play. Automatically, like it was part of the game plan just to scream for holds. Everybody screamed hold.
Replaying that
hold,
on the live stream,
right? Hey Dub, you remember that on the late night podcast that Corey yelled at me, but I made kind of a pseudo prediction. You remember it?
Which one?
So everybody was basically saying BIC was going to win by 2. If you were a Vegas guy, Vegas is going to win by 2 touchdowns. And I went in there. I said, mark my words. This game's going to come down to a 3-on-1 get back. And it was not going to be, and it not quite a get back, but it definitely came down to that 3-on-1 there in the last 15, 17 seconds.
The 3-on-1 definitely was the ultimate difference. But I mean, yeah, you did mention the get back, to which, like I said, and again, when the Insomniacs made the switch to put Zelly on the coverage team after Cody Johnson gives up the 3-on-1 to Pac Money was really not a factor on the 3-on-1 after that. I mean, you go back to last year, B.M.E. Keys had that one good return at the start of the game, and then he was not a factor for the rest of the game on the 3-on-1 return. It's something about their coverage on the 3-on-1 to where, okay, you may get me once, but you're not getting me a second time.
I think it's what's really impressive, at least to me, for the Insomniacs, is the ability to adjust on the fly. Yeah, you can have like the second half adjustments and all that other kind of stuff, but there's those in-game adjustments that they do better than everyone else. That's just the fact of it. Like you said,
coaching though, like
exactly,
you know what I mean?
Well, it's like, well, shit, that didn't work. We're not going to try it again.
It felt like going from watching it. It brought me back to college. You know, when we were at SJCC, the talent we had, the talent pool, the speed of the game, so much faster. They were so much better. You know, I go to an NAIA out in Kansas, right? And the talent pool, nowhere near as big. I'm not going to lie to you. Nowhere near as big. But with those teams, it wasn't you could have the most talented guys in the world, but if you couldn't coach them, you were dog shit. And that was the biggest thing. Yeah, the game was a little bit slower, but that's because everybody else slowed it down because nobody misses their assignments. And when you have a team that has, predominantly coaches, it's kind of crazy to see how much that translates, and how they watch film. What are they looking for in film? Are they just sitting back and going, okay, mapping out routes, but they're not mapping out the reasons as why they're running that? What are they trying to beat? You know what I mean? When you have that kind of clarity of what specifically that you're looking for, it's gonna be damn fucking hard to beat anybody, when they're that disciplined.
Yeah.
So that was really nice to see, like, on that side, and it just, I don't know, it being my first game watching, it was nice to see like how well, how disciplined, it could be.
Yeah.
And what they do. So I mean,
that game had 4 punt surrenders, 3 or 4 punt. Neither team had punted all season.
Yeah.
So for beyond just regular turnovers,
mm-hmm.
To see that many punts in a game, between two teams that just have never needed to do it, or always so arrogant to feel like they never had to, it was a good chess match, man. You could hear the coaching changes being made live on the field. It's one aspect of the game that I love, is being able to hear the coaching and the adjustments being talked about on the sidelines. I always love being close to the huddle, and kind of, understand the way these guys are putting these packages together. I mean, both offenses were just, I was impressed, man. But that game was won and lost where it should have been. 1-point game was perfect. But that in the trenches, that play in the trenches, man, that was worth the price of admission.
I want to thank you for pointing that out, because I never would have looked. Especially coming in watching like my first game, I never would have thought to even look at the line. It's 3-down linemen. Like, it's not something. And for you to point that out, and then me being able to actually like see it come to fruition, because that Kenny Mack and
Dave Valley
battle, that was awesome. Just watching them go at it and everything, I thought it was hilarious. David Valley, just the complete unwillingness to move his feet horizontally.
Man, listen, I haven't. I'm gonna go back and watch that portion of the game, but I gotta swear to God, I mean, the over under on pancakes between those two has to be 9.
You know, because
I mean, they were killing people. You know what I mean? I loved watching. What's the saying when an immovable object meets what? Something.
The irresistible force against the immovable object.
Yeah.
That's what we had.
Yeah. It was funny because there was a few times where it was just like Valley would just sit back, he'd take his 2 steps back, and then he'd just like throw the guy down, and we're like, what is going on?
Like, doing that the whole time.
That stuff was so funny.
Mad Six, you obviously saw the championship game last year. You definitely looked like you were highly entertained this year and everything. What was something going through the games that you were noticing, and like how was it for you?
You know, man, I love
whoa.
I love what I like to call, like, you know, when players are talking. Wait, what did he say?
I'm sorry, Will. I asked Mad Six what he thought of the game, because this was his the second championship that he had seen. I don't know if it sounded like I had said Will for a second. My bad.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It did sound like Will.
Oh my bad. That's on me then. Mad Six, what was your again, you heard my question. Go ahead.
No, to me it was a well-rounded game. Definitely another exciting game to watch. You know, definitely better to watch it in person, especially seeing it for the first time last year. So looking forward to seeing it in person again. So it definitely made me a fan. You know, I said going into it, you know, some of these people talk a lot and they just didn't show up. You know, specific player, you know, got on the show, did a whole lot of talking, and was quite non-existent the whole game. So sometimes you just gotta you know, keep your words to yourself until that final whistle blow. So.
And that's exactly what and Will, going on to what you were saying, sir.
Oh no, just
I didn't mean to cut you off.
One of my favorite aspects of the game, man, is the portion of the game on the field where I like to call the kitchen bitching is happening at. All the shit that you guys do not and should not hear. I'm so glad we don't have field boom mics or no shit like that, because man, it would get pretty X-rated, man.
especially with Scott McCorkle on the damn field.
Oh my God! Listen, man. As many no ditties as I have to say out there, like, hold on, man. What are you talking about right now?
I guarantee the
hold
Vikings out there
on. Let me.
some shit.
Hey man, listen. Be like, next drive, I'm gonna pre-flag you, dog. Like, you can't say nothing like that rest of the game, bro.
No,
like,
well,
I'm writing you in my book as just someone to watch, a person of interest. Like, what the fuck are you talking about out here right now?
I kid
just
you not.
saying some of the wildest shit you ever heard, man. You know. Like he's got his nipple in my eye, or he keeps trying to put his nipple in my chin, or just some dumb shit. Like, you got to watch that. Like, come on, man.
One of the first things he says before the first snap, he was talking about his damn balls. I'm like, Scotty, really? But I mean, if you know Scott McCorkle, that's who Scott McCorkle is. I mean, you love him for it, but you're just like, damn, Scotty, really?
Hey, McCorkle came out there on them blue chews, boy. He was ready to go. He was on those blue chews, baby.
Well, he is trying to get the league to sponsor. He's trying to get Blue Chews to sponsor. He's been rallying hard for that for as long as I've known him. But
I was saying, we were on Mizzle and Dub's show when McCorkle came into town, and good Lord, it's like I was like, oh, I can only imagine how this man is on the field. And thank you both for confirming for me.
Listen, just non-stop one-liners, man. Like, they just keep coming, dog. Like, he's the best shtick comic on the field, man. I don't know I mean, it's just crazy, man. He's got every one-liner for every situation, man. And nothing's the same. It's always original. Nothing's it doesn't regurgitate them. It's crazy, man.
But one thing about him is he has a motor that does not stop on that field. He fights to the last play of the game. You really gotta put a hold on him, because he's like AJ. His motor doesn't quit. And they'll tell you, like, you may be more skilled than me, but damn it, I got a motor. And that was on display. I mean, it was on display with the whole team. But I got to finished getting work already. As always, appreciate being on you guys.
Hell yeah, Dub.
So,
Guys, I'm
Will,
gonna run too,
soon, my
man. I'm
friend.
gonna jump back in the office here for a second.
Yes, sir. Will
Will,
Franklin,
Will's
Dub Alvarez.
good to see
Appreciate
you.
y'all.
Hey,
We'll
Dub,
talk to y'all
man,
later.
forgive me out there on the field in the heat of the moment, man. I know we didn't get a chance to talk after the game, man, but I appreciate the job you did out there as the Red Hat, man. And I apologize. It gets a little intense for me managing personalities, and I got really frustrated. Well, here's my most frustrating thing of the game. Let me leave you guys with this. This is my most frustrating moment of the game, and it was disheartening to me. It's something we have to improve on as a league. Seeing Derek Duncan on the chain crew about pissed me the fuck off, man. That hurt me. As a league, that's a black fucking eye for me.
Having a
division owner holding the chains, like come on, man. And he's listening to the broadcast live on his phone. You know what I mean? So, but then, just the whole sideline thing, man. Dub, I appreciate the job you did over there and everything that you were willing to do, man. And I apologize if my blood pressure got up a few times.
Well, I mean, it's all part of the game. Good things, but handled differently, yeah. But like I said, I was just there to be more support. But I mean, whatever I need to do to help enhance the broadcast or help the game in any way, shape, or form. Glad to do it. Honored to do it. I mean, it's just another reason why I'm grateful to be a part of this league in any capacity, way, shape, or form, just to see what goes on to put this stuff together and just see how guys are really passionate about this league and see why that there's a love for it. There's love for it. So I mean, anything I can do to help enhance, I'm all willing to help. That's all I can say.
Appreciate you, man. Love you guys, man. Hey, thank you guys for having me on again, guys.
No problem.
Anytime.
Anytime.
All right, my guys.
Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. And ladies and gentlemen, because it's about that time anyway, so they were kind of getting on they got the timing down perfectly about for what we were about to do. Guys, overall thoughts. We got opinions and everything from the head ref, from an East Coast guy and a West Coast guy. Overall,
So wait, there was a division owner working the chains?
yeah, Derek.
I mentioned it during the game.
Yeah, he did.
I looked over. Yeah, he was over there working the thing.
That's a black guy. I don't understand why.
Because you shouldn't have a division owner working chain gang.
Gotcha.
That's just division owner should be just that, the division owner doing what he should be.
Hey man,
you gonna see Jerry Jones holding no chains on the field?
Hell no. Hey, that would be fucking hilarious though, wouldn't it?
Hey, Charlie Weiss is out of the scene. They fired him from XM, Sirius XM.
Who?
Charlie Weiss. So he was doing Charlie Weiss.
Go ahead.
He was doing commentary for satellite XM for football. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Isn't Skip gone too? They're done with him.
I think so, but the NBA sound like it's gonna be back. I was reading the post. They matched the deal, so it sounds like they might have secured an 11-year deal with Shaq and all them. So it sounds like it's not leaving. I think that would have been the worst mistake the NBA could have did.
100%. TNT would have lost so much money.
Yeah.
But yeah, going to the game. Is that overall? That was your take? Derek Duncan on the sideline?
Me? No. I was just trying to figure out why it would be like it was a bad thing. But no, it was just fun to watch. Like I fully I'm not gonna lie to you. After watching, that brawl that you had sent me and all that stuff, I was expecting something that was gonna be kind of just off the fucking walls and like, you know what I mean? Like people getting their fucking wigs snatched, like it, all of that. And for it to actually look like and feel like a football game, like that was pretty cool. Like,
yeah. Overall, that's almost one of the reasons why we like the league.
I was gonna say it almost reminded me kind of like of a 8-man football.
Almost. You got 7-on-7 tackle football with no pads and no helmets.
Yeah.
So, Mad Sticks, any last thoughts on the game?
Hey, good game. Waiting to see it next year, and it was a good one. So We'll see if they can. Can we get a 3-peat? Can we get the 3-piece chicken combo? Can they do it? Can they 3-peat?
Well, if
I
they
don't see why not at this rate.
if they open up a Texas league, no.
If they open up in Texas, no. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us on the All Pro JAFFOs, the A7FL Championship recap. We appreciate Dub Alvarez, Big Rob Fabian, and head referee of the A7FL, Mr. Will Franklin, for coming in and giving their thoughts. A hell of a game. If you didn't see it, well, I don't know what to tell you. Go back and check it out on the A7FL.tv and or YouTube channel. Once again, subscribe to the channel here. Everything the All Pro JAFFOs on the Tornado Bros Productions YouTube channel, and follow us on all social media platforms as well for everything that we do here. So we appreciate you guys hanging out on this lovely Tuesday morning. Everybody have a great rest of your week. We'll see you guys on Friday. For myself, JP, for Caleb, for the DJ Matchsticks, we will see you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.